Donald Trump's recent public appearance has renewed questions about his health and behavior. At a black-tie dinner, he reportedly raised eyebrows by shouting. It's one of those things where you have to really think about it. Despite these moments, many mainstream outlets have given little coverage to concerns about his cognitive state and may raise legal questions. He was pressed about it, and his response only added to the scrutiny surrounding his actions. We'll go through both the message to Bondi, his remarks at the event, and why they're drawing so much attention.
No, I just want people to act. They have to act, and we want to act fast. You know, they were ruthless and vicious. I was impeached twice. I was indicted 5 times. It turned out to be a fake deal, and we have to act fast. One way or the other. One way or the other. They're guilty. They're not guilty. We have to act fast. If they're not guilty, that's fine. If they are guilty, or if they should be charged, they should be charged, and we have to do it now.
Trump's recent Truth Social post has drawn criticism because it urged the Attorney General, who is supposed to operate independently of the president, to act in a way that many see as politically motivated. Critics argue that this kind of demand undermines the principle that law enforcement should not serve as an extension of partisan politics. Trump has often made controversial statements publicly, which some believe is a deliberate strategy. By doing so openly, he normalizes that might otherwise attract sharper scrutiny. The concern here is that his comments were not just a distraction, and a serious call to target political opponents through the justice system. Bondi, a Trump ally, has been drawn into the conversation, though there is no basis for the kinds of prosecutions, has suggested. Critics say this reflects a broader pattern in which Trump, surrounded by loyalists, believes he has the power to go after rivals despite legal and constitutional limits. The episode underscores ongoing questions about how Trump views the role of government institutions. And it comes alongside a speech that raised further concerns about his approach to power.
On the world stage, we're once again putting America first, and that's what we do. We put America, we'll help others, but we have to put America first. Exactly as George Washington would have wanted. He would have voted for us, George Washington. We had a man who rated me the number 3 president of all time. He said only superseded by George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. And the host of the show said, "Oh, are you in trouble? Trump is going to be so angry at you when he hears that he's number 3. But we'll take that." I don't know how many have done that. He actually said, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Donald J. Trump. I said, I like that guy very much.
Donald Trump's latest speech included several moments where his message was unclear. While he emphasized the slogan, America First, critics argue that many of his policies tell a different story. For example, his administration prioritized tax cuts that largely benefited wealthier individuals and corporations, billions in U.S. aid to Israel, tariffs that raised costs for American consumers while hurting some industries, and foreign policy decisions involving Venezuela and Afghanistan have all raised questions about whether with the America First theme. Trump also attempted to highlight a new initiative on drug prices, but his remarks are difficult to follow, leaving many uncertain about what he was actually proposing.
Because I announced the amount, it was 0.25%. I was so proud. But now I'm going to bring them down 1,300%. Think of this. 1,000%, 500%, 200%, whatever, different. And I'm really proud of that. But
at one point in his remarks, Trump struggled to clearly explain his claims about the wars he said he had prevented. His comments became difficult to follow, and shortly afterwards, escalated into an outburst that drew attention from the audience. Let's take a look at that moment.
Of them, Armenia and Azerbaijan, going on for years. They came to my office, the two leaders, two great guys. One was there 22 years, one was there 7. And they both said during the entire term of their office, all they did was kill people on the other side. And now they're sitting in my office, and they're at the Oval Office. It's pretty wide. And they had one over here, one over there. And slowly, over the course of about an hour, they came close. And at the end of an hour, we were hugging each other and holding hands. It was an amazing thing, and we settled that war. That was not settleable, as the expression goes. Cambodia and Armenia, it was just starting, and it was a bad one. Think of that. We have, let's see, Cambodia, Armenia. We have Kosovo, Serbia, Israel, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia. That's a beauty. They built a little dam in Ethiopia that's like the largest dam in the world.
Donald Trump at this point is just like listing off countries and pretending that they're next to each other or we're in conflict. He doesn't really know what he's saying. He doesn't really know what he stopped. He continues to tell the story of the two presidents who hugged it out at the end. But there is clearly one president who is still living rent-free in his mind, and that's Joe Biden, who he was swearing about right here.
At a recent event, Donald Trump directed sharp insults at Joe Biden, using language that drew attention because of how casually it was delivered. Critics were quick to point out that if the roles were reversed, if Biden had publicly used that kind of language against Trump, the backlash would have been enormous. MAGA leaders and right-leaning media would likely have seized on it, just as they did when Hillary Clinton made her now infamous deplorables comment in 2016. That single phrase became a rallying cry for Republicans, despite the fact that their own leaders often use equally harsh or harsher rhetoric. This imbalance speaks to a broader double standard in American politics. When Democratic leaders criticize Republican officials or conservative voters, they are often accused of being elitist, divisive, or dismissive. Meanwhile, Republican leaders, including Trump, frequently use inflammatory and personal language, but it is often brushed off or even celebrated among their base. The reaction is not symmetrical, and the contrast has become a point of deep frustration for many Democrats. The conversation extends beyond political figures to the states they govern. Republican officials frequently disparage California, New York, or Illinois as poorly run or dangerous. But if a Democratic governor were to openly mock states like Oklahoma or Missouri in similar terms, the outrage would almost certainly dominate right-wing media for days. This creates an uneven playing field in which one side feels free to attack, while the other is expected to take the high road. For many on the left, the idea of always maintaining restraint feels less and less sustainable. They argue that consistently holding back has not prevented Republicans from using aggressive language or policies, and that meeting those attacks with civility alone has not yielded results. The demand to take the high road often comes across as a trap, critics say, leaving Democrats at a disadvantage. Trump's latest remarks show that he is comfortable mocking opponents in the harshest terms, but he bristles when he is on the receiving end of criticism. His comments suggest he is paying attention to how often he is targeted and that constant scrutiny bothers him more than he lets on. Let's look at what he said in response.
You're going to have, we have a problem because these people are crazy. The Democrats have gone, they have a serious case of what's known as, which is actually a disease, I think. They're going to put it down. Are they going to list that? Dr. Oz, are they going to list, you know what I'm talking about, right? Trump derangement syndrome, is that? Why don't we list that on Wednesday? Let's do the more important ones first. No, it's a serious disease. It's a mental disorder. That's not happening anymore. We have a safe city. The scum is gone, and I'll tell you, it's going to get, I don't know how much better it can get. They said we're down 87%.